party is starting. The pre-show is here, and we have a maniac setup. Welcome in, everyone. What do we have here? This is a roster of maniacs. So, as we always do, we need to introduce ourselves. Let's start in the top left corner.
Is that me?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's you.
Yep.
On the left. Hi, I'm Butters. Hi, formerly Painter Babe. You can also call me Dina. That's my real name. I have no problems saying that. So yeah. Hi everybody. My sister's in the chat, by the way. Her name's Bobby.
We also need to know what instrument you usually play. That's also interesting.
It's this one. Just kidding. It's bass. Actually, I play. It's this one. I play bass. I play on Mondays and Fridays normally, between 10 and 11 Pacific Standard Time, because I'm in the United States and I live in northern Idaho, which is not too far away from Canada, is where I'm at. But yeah, I play bass. So yeah, there you are.
Fantastic. Next.
I assume me, because we're gonna go left to right or something.
That is correct.
All right. I'm Duke Mumford, also known as Jeremy. I play guitar. That's my main over there. And I normally stream Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday nights. I'm in Mountain Time Zone. I'm in Utah, so I usually stream about 7 p.m. Mountain Time to 10 or so. So evening streamer. Participated in Shredfest 3, and I'm happy to be here as a guest for Shredfest 4 VODcast.
Nice. My name is Naga Greer, or you can just call me Greer, bassist from Canada. I participated in the first and second Shredfest way back when, and I stream from Friday to Tuesdays, mostly in the evenings.
That's you, Dave.
Me now. Okay, I'm Dave.
Unbelievable.
I play guitar. Well, I assumed it was either going to be Red or Philemon next. But I play guitar. I stream generally Tuesdays and Fridays. Yeah, that's really it. I do a lot of the organisation behind the scenes on the Shredfest. So yeah.
I'm Philemon, also known as Thorsten or Torsten, if you're not pronouncing it the English way. I'm playing mostly the guitar with a tiny bit of a 5-string bass mixed in between. I almost participated in the first Shredfest, but made that up by participating in 2 and 3. And I sometimes stream.
Hello, I am Venom Hammer. You might know me from Unity Rocksmith. I play guitar originally from the UK, but I actually work and live in Saudi Arabia. I don't do anything behind the scenes. Dave does it. And I just acquired a 5-string bass, so that'll be coming soon, hopefully. Yeah, that's me. Thanks, bye.
And I'm, as
He's
always,
come to the dark side.
and I'm, as always, your host, Red Lionhead. I stream some bass, I think. Sounds like that anyways. Usually Tuesday, Fridays, and Sundays. So, that's the roster for tonight. But we can't just leave it at that. We want to know these people a lot more. As we said, all of them has been in Shredfest 4, so that's kind of why we want them here now. I think I'm the only one who's participating in this one, but that's just because I host this thing, so why not? How long have you been playing your instruments? Like, that's always an interesting question to ask. At least the new ones we've heard from some before, but we can do it again. Taurus, you're up.
Yay! So actually, in high school, which was a very long time ago, I used to play drums. So I kind of got my start that way. But I have been playing bass, excuse me, since Rocksmith 2014 came out. I ran into it on the internet. I'm not quite sure how. Because my husband's bass, which is an Ibanez, which is right here, was always sitting in the living room collecting dust, and he's kind of mucked up his finger, so he could never play it. And I'm like, it's a shame that this thing is sitting there just collecting dust, and it needs to be played. So I kind of started looking into courses and stuff, and then somehow I ran into Rocksmith. So I've been playing it since 2014. And this bad boy right here, my Sterling Stingray, which I just bought myself last Christmas, actually. I love this thing because I hate this thing. But I love this thing. So yeah, I've been playing since 2014. Bought my own. My first bass was actually a Hartke bass, it's called. They're actually known for making amps, but they had a package deal, and I actually got it off or out of. I used to work for a thrift store, and somebody had brought it in, so I bought it for like, I don't know, $15. It was a piece of shit. So I kind of upgraded. I know I'm kind of rambling right now, but that's okay.
That's fine.
Because I ramble. And that bass, actually, the Hartke, I don't have anymore. I've passed it on. I gave it to my son-in-law, so because he was interested in learning, and I gave him my extra Rocksmith cable. So if mine goes out, I'm kind of screwed. But yeah, so I've been playing bass since 2014. But my background is really, I'm a drummer, and there's actually a drum set sitting over there in the corner that I've played a couple of times, and I probably need to play a couple of, a little more.
Yeah, fantastic. I actually do have a Hartke 4x10 hybrid cabinet.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, it doesn't really get played that much because, well, loudness.
They're shit. They're shit. Say it. They're crap.
Yeah, that's awesome. But then again, drums and bass kind of goes hand in hand, so I guess you've been able to use some of your skills, well, your rhythm skills, with the drums on your bass.
Well, and that's it too. I think it makes it easier for me to pick up the bass because I was a drummer in high school, and I was in a band in high school, not in high school band, but in high school I was in a band. I don't know, that makes any sense. So I think it does actually make it easier for me to pick up the bass because I know kind of the notes I'm looking for, as when I hear music. Because if you ever come to my stream and it's like the new stuff, I don't know the old stuff I do because I'm old. Let's get there right now. I'm in the oldest person streaming Rocksmith right now, the oldest female streaming Rocksmith right now, and I have no problem saying that. I will be 53 years old next Saturday. And I got more gray hair. It's just good lighting. Just good lighting right here.
Awesome.
So I play a lot of old school. So I actually, the way I kind of play, I mean, I look at the notes that are coming off, with actually playing drums back in high school kind of helps me with all of that. If that makes any sense. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. Go on to the next person.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's an interesting story. So there's that.
All right. Well, I have been playing for 19 years now, which I have many people that have come into my stream and ask how I've been playing. Then when I say that number,
years old.
Yeah, I get a comment like that, which is okay. I'm actually 31.
You're older than me, for fuck's sake.
So yeah, I'm 31. I've been playing for 19 years. My first instrument was actually clarinet, and I started playing that in 7th grade. A few months later, I picked up guitar for the same reason that many, teenage boys do. They wanted to pick up chicks, and that never worked out for me in any way. But I enjoyed playing guitar anyway. And I played guitar and clarinet all through high school and through most of college. And when I got into my junior year of college, I was in a music program studying guitar and music education. So at that point, I decided I needed to focus on guitar. And so I've been playing that long. I've started out in rock, like a lot of guitarists did. I played Blink-182 and Green Day, what was popular from me at that time. And then I transitioned into Van Halen, and then eventually Dream Theater, and then I learned jazz and classical and all kinds of things. And now we're here just shredding and rocksmith.
That's awesome, mate. Yeah, I would not put you as older than I am. That
I get that often.
I would like to see your ID if you buy alcohol.
I actually
It just says McLovin.
even in Germany.
Yeah, it says McLovin. I'm a 31-year-old organ donor from Hawaii. Yeah, I get carded all the time, whether it's alcohol or I got carded for an R-rated movie back before COVID.
Really?
So just over a year ago, yeah, and I couldn't believe it. It was like, come on, I look at least, what is it,
I
17?
can believe it.
I think I look at least 17. So I thought that getting carded for an R-rated movie was a bit too far. But what can you do?
Were you born like 15 years premature?
I've just got good
Is this how
genes.
this works?
Really good genes, I guess. I don't know.
Awesome.
All right, I guess if I'm up next, I like I said, I'm a bassist, and I've been playing probably close to like around 15 to 16 years now, with a break in between when I was like in school and stuff like that. I started out with my brother and I. We kind of just wanted to get our own instruments, and he ended up picking up drums, and I picked up the bass way back when, like a few years before high school. And we never really played together much after that, but I kept up with it, he kept up with it, and we just kind of went our separate ways. I started out learning a lot of like the Strokes and stuff like Death from Above 1979. And eventually now I play a lot of prog and prog metal, stuff like Haken, stuff like Between the Buried and Me. What else? Dream Theater. I like to play as well. And yeah, and then with Rocksmith, I started playing probably around. It's probably been around like 4 or 5 years now, and I picked it up with the bass and then eventually got a guitar, and I've been playing guitar for maybe 3 years now as well. Not very good. I don't really play it that much. I like to focus more on the bass.
Good man. Philemon.
Well, so basically my first instrument was a recorder at school. And to this day, my parents tell me that I was not forced to do it. My memory sometimes tells me something else. And after that, I actually did want to play another instrument for a while and didn't play for most of my life. It was just when I met my now wife and mother of my daughter that she discovered this old recorder and my stuff. And she's playing a lot of different instruments. She has several flutes, piano, drums, whatever. And she was like, "Oh, you can play an instrument?" Instrument. And in love, Philemon thought, okay, yeah, she wants me to play, so I practiced 1 week and played her something on the recorder. And then she was like, "Hey, this is totally great. Now get an instrument that doesn't suck." Okay, challenge accepted. What should I grab? And I actually thought about a saxophone for a bit until I thought about it that it's not really practical if you want to jam with people, and it's horribly expensive, and I'm not sure if I want to stick to it. So I started out with guitar, got myself my first acoustic guitar, played a couple of years but by the way, I started playing when I was 31. I'm currently 38. Had a couple of years as campfire guitarist and bought my first electric. Played a bit of Rocksmith back then, but I didn't enjoy it all too much. And maybe 1.5 years ago, I rediscovered Rocksmith for myself to have as motivational tool for myself, streaming Rocksmith, because I just wanted to play more with my instrument and with the daughter and everything. I couldn't get nearly as much time into guitar as I'd like to do. I didn't find the motivation. And streaming on Rocksmith totally changed that. And now it's countless hours I'm enjoying putting into the instrument. And as it was fun to see some other streamers switch between bass and guitar, I bought myself a 5-string bass last year and having a blast with it.
So many people are getting 5-string basses. I want one. I actually had one.
I'm trying to get a 6.
Yeah, of course, because of all that weird progness. You're gonna tune it to standard 6-string or something strange?
I'll probably mostly stay in standard.
Fantastic. That high C is kind of really juicy when it comes to 6-string bass.
For jamming, I'd actually like to have a 6-string bass with a guitar tuning, to have some smaller chords on the high 3 strings and just jam with people. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, it's fun to see all the backgrounds and what people have done with stuff. This next question is gonna like flow in like a conflation of two, because as we said, you guys have been on Shredfests before, so I want to know kind of what some of your musical influences are, and also what band you picked for your first Shredfest that might have something to do with each other. Or they could be completely separate for all I know. You just picked the band because it was fun. But like, what your major musical influences, and what band did that affect your pick for your band during your first Shredfest? That's kind of what I'm trying to get to.
My first?
Yes.
Yay!
Ladies first, right?
You are regretting right now asking me to do this. So...
We have 2 hours.
I know, right? It could go longer. No, actually, I picked Joan Jett. I was in the last Shredfest, and Dethos, shirt I'm wearing right now, did all the Joan Jett charts for me. I picked her because she is just one rockin' chick. I'm not going to go into the whole deal right now, but a lot of the gals in the rock community are not represented enough, and I wanted to pick somebody that was just a hardcore kick your ass kind of chick, and Joan Jett is that gal. I grew up. Yeah, I grew up listening to her, and and she was kind of influential in my choice of being a musician, because she really had an impact on me. I looked at her as, if she can do it, I can do it, kind of thing. So I kind of wanted to pay a tribute to her, because I honestly, if I ran into her in a dark alley, I would fucking run away, because she would kick my ass.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so I just wanted to represent the ladies, the girls in rock and roll, and just kind of give them a kudos. But she is been pretty influential, and I think to a lot of people, not just the girls, but guys too. Yeah, so it was a real honor to be able to kind of pick her and play her and pay her tribute or homage for everything she's done for rock and roll as it is.
That is brilliant. But yeah, I completely agree. That there are a lot of awesome, well, female metalheads that don't get enough attention for their skills.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
All right. Well, in the last, so I participated in Shredfest 3 as a last minute alternate, and I picked Incubus. Incubus has always been one of my favorite bands. Mike Einziger is an incredible guitarist, very underrated. Like when people talk about modern guitarists, Mike Einziger doesn't usually get brought into the conversation, and I think that's just such a shame. So I picked them because I know a lot of their tunes, and I've been playing them for years. I know pretty much all of A Crow Left of the Murder, that whole album, because that's my favorite one, which is incidentally most of what I play during my set. But I'd say my other influences were John Petrucci, mostly John Petrucci these days, because, well, I don't think I need to explain why he's influential.
You don't.
Yeah, I love him and his playing. I have 3 of his guitars because I think that they are the finest guitars on the planet. So he's been a big influence, but kind of going outside of like rock and metal, because I kind of like have a jazz upbringing. There were a lot of influential jazz guitarists there for me too. Pat Martino, for one, for anyone that's familiar with him, one of the fastest players on the planet. He can play bebop just as well, like on guitar, just like Charlie Parker could on sax, which is pretty amazing. And other jazz guitarists too, like Russell Malone. So my style's kind of been pulled in multiple directions, but I feel like overall that's made me a more well-rounded guitarist.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Going outside like your comfort zone of genres can absolutely open doors to new sounds and techniques that aren't that common in chord style.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean I'm next?
Yes, that means that.
Well, for me, I was in the first and second Shredfest. The first one, I went with Haken because they're one of my favorite bands, and yeah, I love playing their music. And if anybody comes into the stream and graces me with a streamer choice request, I'm always probably going to gravitate towards Haken because I love showing that band to people, especially to those that don't know them. I find they have some sort of sound for everybody. And then the second one I picked Opeth, and that's another band I've absolutely love. One of my probably at least top tens. And I've been listening to them for years. And if we're gonna talk about the whole which side of Opeth is better, I'm going to lean towards the early 2000s Opeth. I know that's a hotly debated topic.
I'm not getting involved.
I know. I'm looking at you, Venom. And then the last couple of Shredfests I've signed up for, I think Between the Buried and Me as my first choice. If no one can tell at first glance, I'm kind of a big fan of them. Wearing the shirt, 2 wall flags. I have the bassist's signature. I'm kind of a fan.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Actually, Haken is one of those bands I discovered through requesting. I don't think it was in my channel, but yeah, that's one of the ones I've discovered through Rocksmith, and I'm
Same here.
fucking happy I got to experience that because it is a
They're
brilliant
so
band.
good.
Yeah, Philemon.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't think I can really list many artists that influenced me because I'm not actually sure if I have been influenced. As I earlier said, I was for a long time really mostly a campfire guitarist, sometimes jamming with other people. But before starting with Rocksmith, was never really that ambitious, was never trying to play any solos or anything, aside from some small improvisation. I always loved stuff like Red Hot Chili Peppers, this whole pop punk stuff, Green Day, Billy Talent, which would have been my choice for the first Shredfest and almost happened. And some more classic rock stuff that was really motivating for me at first, or Muse, and even older stuff. And I actually, so deciding my choices for the Shredfest was not mostly determined by what would be my favorite picks, but just because I'm not as good as you guys, let's face it. I was not self-conscious enough to just say, all right, I'll just play this band and let's go. I wanted to make sure that I have could give a good performance and not kill anyone's ears. So Billy Talent would have been amazing on the bass because I have not seen a band that is consistently so much fun and yet so approachable on the bass. Every single track I love to play, and it's good, easy to play. There's just like this one curveball at least to make sure you don't get an
Yeah,
SC.
absolutely.
I highly agree.
So they're really fun, and I also wanted to make sure it's not too boring and a bit more versatile at least. So I chose Arctic Monkeys for the second one, which were also tons of fun. I still remember that even while the Shredfest was already begun, because I messed up and couldn't get any days off, I spent, while listening to the Shredfest, hours to recreate the tones as closely as I could with my Boss ME80, so I'd be ready.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, Arctic Monkeys is also one of those bands that are really fun to play on the bass. You've tried to do that.
Yeah, those played on the guitar. And then for the third one, most people probably know, though I haven't mentioned it yet during this interview, I'm from Germany, if it's not obvious because of my terrible accent. But basically, when you're from Germany and you play guitar, everyone's like, oh, you must love Rammstein. I'm so sick of hearing this. So I wanted to show people, wait, there's actually other German music than Rammstein. It doesn't even need to be metalish. So I played Die Ärzte, German's punk legends, for the third Shredfest, which is definitely one of my favorite bands of all time.
Well, you have a lot of awesome Euro thrash coming out of Germany, though. Like, isn't like Sodom German? I think. And of course, Accept is German, so that's also a really good band. So there is a lot of good music coming out of Germany. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's definitely tons, but I was just getting fed up, always being reduced to Rammstein. And
Yeah, I bet.
I don't even
So-
like Rammstein that much.
So next time, Rammstein, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The only choice.
Yeah. Okay, Dave, we need to hear from you and Venom as well on this one.
Okay, so I was in the first two Shredfests. The first time round, I picked Iron Maiden. Main reason being they're just an absolute classic band. Everybody loves Maiden, and I know quite a few of their songs because I play them in my band. I'm in a metal covers band. We play a lot of Maiden. Yeah, it was a nice, easy, straightforward choice. But also one of my favourite songs to play in Rocksmith is Aces High, and the majority of the reason for that is twice in the song there's a lovely little dive bomb moment that I just love the sound of it, and so yeah, that's it. That's why it's my favourite song to play. One note that turns up twice in the song. But yeah, for the second Shredfest, I picked Pink Floyd. Now, the main reason I picked them was a lot of people were discussing in the Discord about who they should pick, and a lot of people were worrying about the name of it being Shredfest. It's like people saying, "Oh, I don't think I shred well enough." And it's like, look, it's a name. You don't have to be able to shred to be in a Shredfest, and so I invoked the Dave Gilmour effect. If you don't know what that is, it's just literally whenever anybody's talking about how good stuff sounds when it's shredded, somebody will also always point out, "Oh well, Dave Gilmour can just break your heart in a single note," sort of things like so yeah, I invoked the Dave Gilmour effect, and I said, sod it. I'm going to do Pink Floyd in the middle of Shredfest. We're going to calm everything right down. We're just going to do that. So that was it. That was the reason behind my choice. Kind of to point out to people that yeah, it's called Shredfest, but you don't have to just fucking shred. You know.
Yeah, that's actually a really awesome choice though, just to bring all things down and fight and then bring it back up. Because if you go balls deep all the time, you have nowhere to go. So yeah, Venom, you're up.
Hello, everybody. Right, so I have been in all of the Shredfests up to now, and that's not because I'm the founder. All right, let's get that straight right now. The first one, we didn't have enough people because there's only 28 people in the Discord, so I was in automatically. The second one, I wanted to be in it, so I decided I was going to be in it. And the third one, someone pulled out, so I filled the slot. So let's get that straight right now. First Shredfest was Ghost. In fact, all the bands that I have performed during the Shredfest have all been bands that I've found during watching Rocksmith streams, which is a bit weird. So Ghost, watched Chainbrain play a Ghost song for the first time, and I was like, holy shit, who is this? I need to download all their music immediately. So I did. And then same with Amorphis for the second Shredfest, one of my favorite bands of all time now. And Sabaton for the third one, which was, I got into them by just randomly having a request on the stream, and I was like, these are really fun to play. I am going to download all the charts and play them all. And basically that's how it happened. And that is my little story. Thanks for listening, everybody. I love you all.
I quickly want to add something after hearing those two. So basically my biggest influence I realize now in hindsight was playing and streaming Rocksmith, because it made me discover so many freaking good bands, as Venomhammer mentioned. I'm not sure if I'm currently happy that I discovered them this way or ashamed that I had to wait for so long. But I didn't know Sabaton, I didn't know Ghost, I didn't know Galneris. There's so much freaking good stuff that was absolutely amazing. And Dave, both Shredfests, I was eyeing the same bands as you did and thought, no, he was faster.
I want to throw in.
Iron Maiden was actually the first kind of metal stuff that I liked at all. I did was in the past. It was never really into metal. It just came by playing guitar. And when I played it, I thought, okay, this is actually pretty enjoyable. Yeah, okay, more. Thanks.
Yeah, I want to throw in the name of one band who I'm not sure that many people would have heard of if it hadn't have been for streaming in Rocksmith, and that's Glory Hammer.
Oh.
How many of you actually heard of Glory Hammer from outside of Rocksmith?
I don't know anything.
Me.
I actually still haven't heard of Glory Hammer, so I'm just gonna
We'll
turn my
fix
camera
that.
off now.
We'll fix that.
Yeah, we'll definitely fix that.
Guess,
But
bring me a request. Let's do it.
yeah, I actually heard of them before before I knew of Rocksmith at all. But That's just because I knew about Ailstorm, and I had a friend who got Chris Bowles sleeping on his shoulder during a festival down in the Czech Republic. So that's how I knew about Glory Hammer, and then I was hooked. Well, I was in Shredfest 1 and 2. I picked Ailstorm for the first one. Not any surprises there at all. I just love the pirate metal stuff. It's not been a major influences as in my musical development, but it's just been a band that I've come to like so much because they do such silly things, but the musicianship foundation is rock solid. Like, there is nothing bad about how they are as musicians, and then you can put silly gimmicks like that on top and still make it work. If you just do the silly gimmick, it won't work. So if you have a fun gimmick, fantastic. Still go home and practice. Get the gimmick when you're ready for that. Second Shredfest, I did Glory Hammer. Because it's just one of those bands I can have a lot of fun with, and I'm not considering myself like a fantastic bass player by any means, but I'm an okay entertainer. I can make some fun, I can make some silliness, some extra stuff around this, and since the fuck's sake, Alexa, stop. But when the songs are fairly simple to play and I know them well, I can focus on the other stuff. I can focus a bit more on the showmanship of it. I would not dare to do a prog Shredfest. All creds to you, Greer, for doing that. But yeah, that's kind of my mentality on the whole Shredfest, is that I like to focus on the show part more than the play part. But the play part has to be there. You can't just skip that and think you'll get away with it at all. But yeah, so that's kind of how we've picked bands and all of that. But now we have the band. Now you have found something you want to play. How the hell do you pick the songs? Like, they doing Iron Maiden, they have 40 years worth of songs. Like, where do you even start picking songs for your favorite bands? Can't hear you, mate.
Amazing.
Right, I can start off with a very simple answer here. For Iron Maiden, if you want to pick an hour's worth, you can just pick any of their best of albums. Just use that as your set.
Fair enough. But like, how would you pick your songs, and like, how do you even start if you want to? Well, we can start with Bottles again because, well, Joan Jett. Like, how would you pick the songs you want to play for an hour?
Well, honestly, I think for me, because I'll let you know, I was really nervous playing Shredfest last time, because I have stage fright. I always have. So for me, picking the songs, it was like picking something that I knew and something I knew I could get through. Pretty much without a lot of, I guess, missed notes and stuff like that. So you would have to, just pick what's familiar with you, whatever band you're doing Shredfest with. Thanks for the raid, man.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
we got raided. We got raided by Migsy with. We're a whole bunch of people. Welcome in. We're just discussing picking bands for Shredfest, and Butters is being fantastic with the stories.
Sorry. I do ramble.
No, we like it.
I think as far as picking a band per se for Shredfest, pick something you're familiar with, something you've listened to, something that you're familiar with, grown up with, or whatever, something that really hits you, and something you're passionate about, something you want to pay homage to. you know, my next Shredfest, I didn't get into this one, and I had picked Tom Petty because he also, like Joan Jett, has a big impact on my life, because I grew up in that era. So, pick something that really, means something to you, whatever that is. So yeah, I just pick something you love, something you're passionate about, and have fun with it. That's the whole thing. Have fun with what you're doing, what you've picked, the artist you've picked to play, and remember, man, we love you guys. We love everybody that is doing the next Shredfest. All the new people. It's just freaking phenomenal that there is so many new people that are coming into this and kind of doing their thing and doing streaming and getting to know I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I just ramble. So,
That's fine. Keep going.
Yeah.
do what you love, do what you're passionate about, do your favorite artist, whether it be Pink Floyd or whoever is new these days, do it. Do it and tell you're sick of it.
Fantastic.
Honestly. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. Absolutely.
Well, so with Incubus, it was kind of hard. So I had the challenge of there's a lot of great Incubus songs. They have many, many albums. However, not all of those great songs are charted. So Incubus presented a specific challenge in that, like, there is a lot charted for Incubus, but half of it is bass only. And at the time, I didn't have a bass, and also I'm a guitarist main. So I was kind of limited by the songs that were available, but there were still quite a few to choose from. And for me, it was very much so about like I've seen Incubus live a few times, and so it was really trying to create like that same experience. So picking a strong opener, which I believe my opener was Megalomaniac. So pick a strong opener.
Song.
Yeah, and I feel like that really that helps. Kind of make you feel like you're at an Incubus concert. So you pick a strong opener. I always like to have a song that follows the opener that's maybe a little less hype, but will help like kind of get you into like the feel. So I think I picked Nice to Know You for the second song. I can't remember the entire set. I'm not going to recount the entire set.
Great song also.
Yeah, but I think like the important thing is is like keeping like the hype and energy. It's like an ebb and a flow. And so I think after that I probably did a slower song like Stellar or maybe I did like The Warmth or something. I can't remember.
Stellar's my favorite.
Yeah. So like if you think about like the energy during a show is kind of like a wave, and you program songs around that energy, it's going to give you like enough it's going to give you enough variety to stay interested. There'll be the moments where you can spam chat with those emotes, and then there are other moments where you can just like sit back and have a good time, and then of course like finishing strong. And I think our final one was I think my final song actually was The Warmth. So start strong, end strong, and keep like a variable kind of vibe, I think is important when programming.
Yeah, that's absolutely, because that was kind of one of the questions a bit further down is how to set that flow. But I don't know about Incubus, but one of the advantages I had for the first two I attended is that all of the songs are in the same tuning. How do you go around that restriction if you want to minimize the number of either guitar changes or tuning changes during a set, but you still want to get that flow? Like, pretty much I can pitch in on this one, but like that is also
Buy more guitars.
Yeah, but you want to minimize
it's not just
both.
about the
It's
amount of
always
guitars.
the answer. Always.
Yeah, I'll pitch in with this one because I do a lot of sort of sorting out like how are we going to do our set list from a band. getting about like the Shredfest from a band, when we're putting together a set list, it's always like most of the set will be in one tuning. Basically, I take two guitars. Well, I'll take three. I'll take one that's in E standard and one that's in drop D, and then one that's just a what do you call it, fixed bridge. And so yeah, everything that's in standard tuning goes at the beginning of the set, and everything that's in drop tuning goes at the end of the set. And yeah, but basically I'm so used to just mixing it so as like you have a block of everything in standard, then everything in drop.
Mm-hmm.
You need one of those fellas, Dave, that just hands you a new guitar in, like when you need it. I could be that guy, man. I could be that dude.
Usually those guys cost money.
Yeah, I was going to say, will you work
I'll do it for
free?
beer. I'll do it for beer or rum.
Beer isn't free.
Fuck you, Dave.
I actually do the same thing as Dave does too. I have my drop tuning guitar. I have my standard guitar. I have a guitar that's set up for C standard, and I use a drop pedal to get me everywhere else I need to be. But I found that when you're getting below C standard on an E standard guitar with the drop pedal, it just doesn't sound super good. So then I have my C standard guitar, and if I need to go down to like B or A or whatever, I just use that guitar. And then I also do have a 7-string for some of those tunings. But all my guitars have tremolos, so I have that challenge going for me.
Same here.
So Greer, how was this for you doing like Opeth and Haken and all of these madness? Because they use a lot of weird tunings, don't they? Or do they keep to the standard?
Opeth is either one of the two is either standard or drop D. I don't think they have a single song outside of those tunings. Haken stays between standard or like they sometimes have a weird tuning, like one on the newest album that they have called Carousel. On bass, it's a drop A sharp and a drop D, and on a 5-string bass. So it's pretty weird on that one, but that's probably the weirdest tuning one I've come across for Haken. And as far as choosing what songs when I was doing that, with Haken, I wanted to do was I wanted to pick a few songs from each album. So I think I got to play at least. I know I got to play at least one song from every album. I don't know about two. I think I tried for two each, but the timing. And so just so I could throw in as much of their discography as I could, and tried to pick the ones that weren't like crazy, because they're pretty crazy sometimes. And then with Opeth, that was probably the hardest. That one, I had like literally a sheet of paper, and I was writing down like all the songs I wanted to play, and like at least 90% of them were above 10 minutes. So that was the biggest challenge. I literally only played 5 songs for that set, and that one I tried to do, or no, that one I think I only picked between Blackwater Park, Watershed, and Ghost Reveries. Those were the 3 albums I really, really wanted to pay attention to, because those are my favorite ones. And to add on to the how to pick songs and how to pick a band or anything like that for newcomers, I get asked this a lot actually for new people to the Shredfest, is people claiming they're not as good or something like that, like they're nervous and all this and that. And to me, that was me for the first one, until I saw the first few people going at it. And then I kind of got into this mindset of, okay, you know what, this is just a thing for fun. You don't have to impress anybody. That's not the point of this. So you're just there to have fun, pick your favorite band, show your favorite music to all these people, and just have fun with it. That's the biggest point of Shredfest, I would say. And of course, to meet all the new streamers.
There's a thing that I've had quite a lot of times over the past, especially week, where people are trying to cram as many songs as they can into one set, because they've only got an hour. They're like, shit, I need to get all these fucking songs in. and you're like, and I've tried to put like a message in to the chat saying, look, dudes, don't worry about that. Like, this is your chance to show people who you are, you know, as a streamer, not what band you're playing, because at the end of the day, people might come to your set and not even like your band, but they'll fucking like you.
Mm-hmm.
So spend some time, you know, in between songs. What are you laughing at, Dave? Fuck you.
You've hit the perfect level of drunkenness. That's all.
No, I'm not even close yet. This is
the
my normal
Bowler peak.
persona. You should know this. But spend some time, like, you know, trying to convey who you are to your audience for that 1 hour. That is my best advice.
And then to add on to that, another.
No one, because no one's taken any notice of it.
To add on
No,
to
we
that
are.
as well,
It's just that when fuck is your every other word, we know you've hit nicely two pinted. That's all.
Yeah,
Dude,
you were saying.
You've seen my streams.
And you definitely need to pay attention to that. You also plan in some time to reach that perfect level of drunkenness during your stream. I remember on the second Shredfest, I was had such a case of stage fright. I drank 2 whiskey before, and then started playing, and then I just got into the flow, and then, all right, just drank after every song, and okay, let's just grab another one. It's okay. And had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you were saying, Greer.
To add on to like advice and stuff like that, another question I get is how long to make your set, and I always tell people the same thing, at least between like 50 to 53 minutes, like somewhere in between there. It's like the perfect amount of wiggle room, and you shouldn't be over an hour for that amount of time.
Yeah, I also wanted to add that it's really a very important factor. How long is your regular track? I mean, you don't need to be such a boozehead as I and go for a whiskey after every second track, but maybe you still need to tune your guitar, maybe not, but you just want to maybe say something about the song. Why did you pick this? Well, does it have anything? Does it have any special meaning for you? And just guide your audience through the show a bit. And it's important to leave that some time for that. It's not just jump.
Quality, not quantity.
Exactly. And if you're using stuff like let's say you try to plan out your set in like Spotify, which is a nice like getting guesstimate, you need to add at least 10% time to that, because well, when I make charts, I add 5 seconds of dead time to every chart. So just be aware of that. If you have a Spotify set to 55 minutes, that's probably going to be closer to 57, 59 minutes. That's a trap you don't want to go into.
No, because it makes me angry. Don't do it, guys. All right, and girls.
But it's also kind of a like, we all are a community here, and you want to respect the next guy in line's time as much as your own. So it's better to cut the song short and talk a bit, chat a bit, get the hype up for the next guy, and then raid, instead of trying to push all the way to 59 and then have to rush the raid.
Yeah.
Mate, don't get me started on this shit.
Yeah. Get me started on this. Right. Yeah.
Dave's much more diplomatic than me.
But when you've got a band like Iron Maiden, like my first Shredfest, I picked Iron Maiden, and it was very, very easy, because what I did was I plotted out a 48-minute set, and then I had a choice of still 100 other songs that could be my last song. So if that 48-minute set ends up taking 55 minutes, well, that's when I end. If that 48-minute set ends up at 52 minutes, well, I've got enough time for a short one. So, you know, what I ended up doing was I plotted out my sort of like 48 minutes worth, and then had a choice of about 7 or 8 different songs, all about a minute's different length, going all the way up to fucking Rime of the Ancient Mariner, which is about 13 and a half minutes long.
Yeah, it's long.
Like I had a whole load of different songs that could be my next song. And I think when it came to it, I ended up putting in what was it I put in? It was one of those
Only
short
you
ones.
know
It was
this,
about,
Dave.
it was
Yeah, one
Yeah.
of the fun things was that for Shredfest 1, Greer actually asked me to go overtime to finish one of his songs, which was fine. I didn't mind that at all. But the next guy in line actually overslept, so I
Oh, yeah.
had to crisis find 2 more songs while they figured out how to find, because we
That
didn't have
was amazing.
we didn't have
Guitar
reserves back.
Heroist.
Yeah, we didn't have reserves back then, so there were no one ready to pick up the thread. We kind of learned from that, and that's why every artist here is asked to show up half an hour before you start. That's the reason.
I
Pretty
mean,
much.
that made him a legend. Guitar Hero is a legend after that.
He's in the chat right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
You fucking
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
Possibly cringing a little.
Unbelievable. And then he spent like half of his fucking set playing chess, which I thought was one of the greatest things anyone has ever done at Shredfest.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
I do I definitely went way too over on the first one though, that's for sure. I wanted to cram so much into my set, and yeah, like Venom said, quality over quantity. So
It's
yeah,
all a
it was-
learning process, though. It's all,
Yeah,
honestly,
exactly.
it's all a learning process.
Yeah, that was the first one.
We're in this together, you know.
Yeah, we learned a lot of valuable lessons from that fest. And
Learned them on all of them. all
Yeah,
of
it
the
was-
festivals.
it was those things that sort of that I used
Doesn't
to
stop.
elevate myself to where I currently am in the community. Because as soon as the fest was over, I was messaging Venom saying, "Look, we need to do something about this, that, and the other." It's like when somebody can't turn up for their slot, we need to just have one person whose job it is to worry about it, so we don't panic everybody. That's when the whole staff thing came about, and I just basically said, look, here's a load of things that I think we could do, and Venom just went, yeah, we'll do those.
That's my job. I just go, yeah, Dave, that sounds like a really good idea. You can do that.
yeah, fantastic. But yeah, that's absolutely things, because you need to put in like buffers for, as we said, some people have retuners and all of that, or switching instruments, or for fuck's sake, if anything goes to hell with stream or setup or something. We all experienced that in the normal streams. There is no reason to expect everything to go smoothly when it matters the most. Murphy is a cold-hearted bitch in that sense.
Yeah, I think during one of the Shredfests, my Rocksmith crashed twice.
Yeah, so one of the tips I kind of like to use is that if you're gonna have, well, usually as Mumford said, you want to have the banger at the end, like the really awesome one. One of the smartest things I found, I don't remember who I stole that idea from, but leave the second to last song as an expendable. So you can skip your second to last song and still have your banger and still be on time. But
that kind of like leaves you open then, doesn't it? It leaves you open to go, oh no, I really think I can sneak this song in. And you're like, can you do that? You dick.
Fantastic. Well,
For anyone who's ever been in the green room, when somebody says, "Oh, I think I can squeeze this one in," if anyone's ever been in the green room when I'm in there and somebody said that, you'll hear me fucking turn into Venom with all effing and blinding.
yeah. But yeah, we picked our songs, we set up all of it. But how do you set up your rocksmiths? Like, do you just pick them out of the normal list? Do you make a big CDLC if you can or want to do that, or continuous play? Like, what do you do to set up the songs you want to play, and how?
Oh god, this is something else that angers me. Right. I'm not going to get into it. Just let's crack on with people.
Yeah, Butters hasn't said anything in a while, so
I'm listening though. Yeah, so here's the thing, kids. Honestly, what I did with the last one is I went through all of the ones that Dethos had made for me, and I went through and played every single one of them, jotted down the time of how long it took, how long the song is and all that, and I formatted it and saved it to my favorites as, I know this one better than this one, kind of like how much concentration am I going to have to use to play this song versus this song kind of deal, and to tell you the God's honest truth, Joan Jett's a little easy to play on the bass, and I kind of pussed out. I did. I pussed out, and I'll admit it, because I wanted to do something a little easier than, like, I don't know, Rush. I mean, come on. Or something, something a little more, thought provoking to play. So, I kind of went along those lines as I'm gonna hit the songs that I could probably get through without panicking too much about it, because I have stage fright. Honestly, I do. I suck at, the other day somebody rated me and I totally freaked out. You couldn't tell, but I did. I fucking freaked out. So I kind of went through and just kind of picked the easier of the set that I could do, that I could get through relatively easy without, fucking it up too much. Sorry, excuse my language. So, and something that was a little more comfortable, for me to play, without getting too heavy into it. I give kudos to those guys that are playing the harder shit. I guess what I call the harder shit, to play on their first go about. I'm rambling again. I'm so sorry. But yeah, just I would think pick your easier stuff first. If you have something that is a little more technically difficult for you to do, remember, we're not here to judge you. We don't care if you fuck it up or not, because guess what, kids? We fuck up everything. We're not perfect, and we're here to support you guys and what you're doing. So don't think that anybody is judging you if you miss a note or anything. That's all part of the game, It's part of the fun of doing this. It's about the music. We don't give a shit if you miss.
Yeah, just
Do what you're comfortable with,
Yeah, I just found these. This is the goggles I used for Shredfest.
Wear them. Let me see them on.
Yeah, that was for Shredfest 2 when I did Glory Hammer.
Awesome.
I remember that very well.
Why?
Just for fun. But I couldn't see jack shit through them.
They're metal.
The best thing is that
have fun, man.
So you could see the background behind you, and every now and again you stood perfectly so the Hootsman's eyes were poking through them.
You're drunk.
Dude, that was such a fucking good set, by the way, honestly.
But yeah, that's kind of the thing about having fun, because I can't really see much out of these, but I can see enough.
Look like a bug.
But yeah, again, anyone chiming in on this? Fantastic. I mean, any tips you have to how you set up your set and technically set it up in Rocksmith to help you ease the flow?
Basically, I mean, it kind of makes sense putting it in one CDLC, I guess. But as I mentioned earlier, I wanted to, especially with my set with the Ärzte, was really obvious that I wanted to say something about each song, because most viewers probably don't even have no fucking idea what the song's about, as they just don't speak German. And the only thing I actually did was I cleaned my CDLC folder. So I threw everything out except all the songs that could potentially be played. Meaning, so the full set list, and if for some reason I decide to switch something else, some other tracks by the band, just to speed up the enumeration process in case of a crash.
That
Because
is a
my
yeah,
CDLC folder uncleaned currently is at 24 gigabytes. Enumeration takes time.
that is a very good tip.
Any crash will cost you at least one song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is a
yeah.
very good tip. Get rid of all the CDLCs for the other bands that you don't need.
There's another thing I'd add about if you're looking to create a single file for your set, is if somebody else runs into your time and you have to start late, be prepared to have to still cut off early. If you have to start late, that's no excuse for having to cut into the next time. So basically, if somebody cuts into your time, we'll probably be a bit more lenient for the next fest and push you up the priority order, so as you're more likely to get a slot in the next fest. So don't worry about it too much. If somebody else has pushed into your time, don't run into the next person's, is the main thing I'm saying there.
Yeah, basically just take what you get and have fun with that. Try to don't let it affect you, because I know it's hard, but like, do what you can with what you get and do it well. People will absolutely remember you for doing a fantastic job, regardless. But they will also remember.
People, i.e. me, will remember you if you do a really shit job also.
Yeah, you just disappeared at the important part of that bit.
I noticed, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
making 2 rums.
But yeah, there is also a challenge with doing one long CDLC. Was it you, Greer, that had like one long CDLC for one of the fests? I don't remember.
It was the Haken one, because I wanted to cram so much into it. I had a buddy make one CDLC for it, and he even like threw in some nice transitions between songs, so kind of flowed as well. But it was definitely too long still.
I mean,
It's a risky business though, because
Yeah.
you might, like, if your tone dies during that one like chart,
Yep.
then you fucked it. Then it's completely written off. So it's like, it's a great idea in theory, but it's not a great idea. You know, it's a risk you're gonna be taking. It's probably not a risk worth taking, to be honest with you.
Well, I think
It's a kind of a high risk, low gain situation.
Yeah, what I'd say, if you're going to have an entire a single chart for your entire set, is also have all of those songs as individual charts. So if anything happens and it fucks up during any one of those songs, you can restart and come back in on the next song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably recoverable if you've got, like, because at the end of the day, you can just fucking wing it. You know, you can just wing it and go, oh, look at the, Opeth back catalogue. Let's see what we can pick here, and just kind of like chill out. And it is recoverable, but like, it's the pressure it would put on you as an artist performing in Shredfest that's probably not worth it. That's all I'm saying.
And then just to go on what Scarlett said there in chat, another good tip if you're participating is to start up your stream at least like 5 to 10 minutes before your set, so that you're nice and ready, and they can get the raid to you at a good time.
Yes.
Absolutely, and that 5 or 10 minutes will give you time to iron out any problems that you might have, like technical stuff.
Yeah. So people have already seen this in the announcement, hopefully. But the staff members will ping you about half an hour and try to get you in, and try to not only mentally prepare you, but also checking that everything is up and running and all of that. So we are ready to start about 5 to 10 minutes before the mark. Just to make that transition as smooth as possible. Because yeah, we need what 74 smooth raids in a row. That I don't know about you, but Twitch has been a bitch to me lately.
I haven't run into anything lately.
Just raids that don't get to be raids and all of that. So there is a few challenges there. But hopefully nothing bad. But yeah, what I've done for my fests is that I've done a playlist on continuous play. The big challenge I had was to put the songs in the correct order, because the first one I just found it manually and clicked it. The second one I got them in the right order by resorting to last played. So the day before I played the songs in reverse order, so that when they came up, it was in the correct one. That was a little fun one to figure out, but yeah, playing the set in reverse to make the continuous play go the right way, it really helped.
I never thought of that. I tried doing continuous play too and found it throw in everything in alphabetical order anyway. So I was just like, all right, scrap that idea.
I tried continuous play once. It crashed, so I've not tried it again.
No idea what you're talking about.
I had all my songs in like an Excel spreadsheet, so it was like the name of the song, the time, the tuning, and then like I created a couple different variations based on kind of the mood I was in. So when I did my Incubus set, I just picked one of the variations and that was it. And then I don't know, I didn't do like continuous play. I just put them in a playlist in Rocksmith. So I only had those songs to pick from. Then it was a matter of just like navigating.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Excel spreadsheet, and then Dave gets really excited. I could see it in his eyes. He gets
I
really
don't get excited about Excel spreadsheets.
Dave.
I know
you love
them.
Spreadsheets. You love spreadsheets more than anything.
Yeah,
It's how I it's how I make my living. Just understanding how Excel works better than everybody else in my office.
Okay.
Well, that's fair. I don't like Excel.
Use Excel, and yes, I also don't like it. But I was just having a list of all songs, and I also, when planning for the fest, I thought, okay, in between each song there will be 1 minute of me drinking whiskey, me telling something, me tuning something. So there will be just 1 freaking minute between each song. And then I had on my list, I had an estimate. Where should I be after the end of the song? At what time frame? So I could check during my set, am I still in time, even with me talking? So I had a chance of dropping tracks in between instead of dropping the last one and being surprised.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I didn't think about that. I might steal it from you.
Feel free to steal it.
But how do you keep track? I mean, you obviously picked your set list, but like, how do you write down your set list so you can easily access during the stream, so you know what to play and when to play it? Like, you just remember it? Do you do something else?
Very old school. I printed it out.
I wrote mine down and I just had it next to me.
Second
Pen and
monitor.
paper, man. Pen and paper.
Yep, same it.
No, if I write it, then I can't read it myself. I need it to print.
Yeah,
I've just winged mine over the past like 3 Shredfests. I've like just tried to kind of remember what I was gonna play. I haven't used any kind of instruments of like writing stuff down or nothing. Just go, yeah, that's probably the next song. We can work with that.
Yeah, that's just how you roll your
I just used Kokolibot. I just added the songs into the playlist there and had it up.
thought
The
about that as
favorites.
well, but-
Favorites is your friend. I'm telling you, favorites.
Yes.
Put them all as favorites, man.
Yeah, that's what
Every
I did.
single one, favorites. Just add them as your favorites. Right now, my Tom Petty. If I get into the next one, I'm just saying. I've already got them all saved to the favorites. Favorites.
I just got to, I just got to call this out. 'Cause Just seen Reese posting in the chat. Don't be like Venom Hammer, because if you're like Venom Hammer, you'll upset Venom Hammer.
Fair enough.
Don't be that guy.
I think we should all kind of, be like Venom Hammer, though. I mean, because he's cool.
Oh, sorry.
I'm kissing it.
Oh, wait,
I'm
wait,
kissing
wait,
his ass
wait.
right now.
Whoa, now. Is that? I don't know if that's sarcasm or what, but I'm gonna take it.
No,
as a
that's not
compliment.
sarcasm. I swear to God, that is not sarcasm. You are my hero.
Disclaimer:
you.
Venom Hammer doesn't have the he has some influence, but he doesn't have all the influence on the who gets into Shredfest 5.
No, that's Dave, the son of a bitch. No,
Yes,
me
it is.
I'm
and
not
Dave,
kissing
me and
anybody's
Dave
ass. I swear to God.
Me and Dave work as an amazing team. Like we are literally
It's
an
almost
amazing
symbiotic.
team. Yeah, it is. Yeah, almost. Yeah, without the dicks and shit,
Yeah, go get a room. No. But
I never realised there were dicks involved in a symbiotic relationship. I've changed that in my mind now.
I didn't either. But
I'll let you know later. I'm sorry.
okay,
In our
so
private chat.
yeah, so one of the things I want to ask a few of you who have done more than one Shredfest is that what did you learn in the previous one that you brought into the next one you did? That kind of be an interesting topic to like. What's your biggest lesson learned, and what did you do with them on the next fest?
For me, what I learned was obviously not to go over. And then apart from that, I learned, especially from Zelk, because of his like legendary intro of his first Shredfest. That was hilarious. So I learned I should make it more fun. So with my Opeth set, I edited together a couple clips that kind of were a little, they made me laugh. So I was like, let me.
That was amazing. I remember that. It was.
And I passed it off like, Michael Ackerfeld made me a clip, and it was just like something stupid that I just edited together.
I remember that too. That was brilliant.
And yeah, so I just wanted to make it fun and more like, I don't know, bring some laughs, because I like to, especially on my stream all the time, I'm always trying to make people laugh. So.
And that's the kind of stuff that makes these performances memorable for the viewers. Like I'll always remember Self. Big shout out to that guy. The Powell set was fucking incredible.
That was brilliant.
Absolutely incredible. So big shout out to Zelk for that shit, man.
Yeah, that is a really good point, because your first time you focus maybe too much on the musical side, and as Greer said, not so much on the performance side, and that's kind of something I picked up a few things from a few people. It's like, that is an awesome idea. I might take something from that and do my own twist on it, and I'm just fine. I think it was the guy who did. Was it Pendulum? It was a guy who did bass for Pendulum during Shredfest 2, I think. That was an amazing set. I'm sad I don't remember the guy's name, but I just remember the
Zen
set.
Fusion. Zen Fusion was the guy. I believe.
Yeah, that was one of the most memorable sets from all the Shredfest I've seen, because he had so many, like, he was almost like Boom So Much level of just craziness during that stream, and he's not a band that I'm particularly a fan of, but just looking at that, it's like that is really well put together.
That doesn't surprise me, Red, seeing as though you're a pirate, like taking ideas from people, making them your own.
Getting inspired.
It's inspiration.
Yeah, inspiration, not stealing.
Inspiration, piracy, fine line.
But yeah, I think we've talked a bit about it during like from the management side, but like Dave and Venom, like some of the biggest lessons learned from the different Shredfests.
Okay. Yeah, as I say, I mentioned this earlier, but the biggest one was just the very first Shredfest. It was just a case of we had 28 people, and we were just going to raid between each other. And as soon as that was over, in fact, before it was over, I was messaging Venom saying, "Look, if we're going to do this again, we need to organize. We need to create a staff list, and we need to make sure that instead of everybody worrying about what's happening when somebody can't make their slot, you make it so it's one person's job to worry about it."
Yeah, and that's Dave. Let me be fucking clear about this right now. All the good ideas that have ever happened, pretty much, from each Shredfest that we've learned from, have been Dave and me going, yeah, Dave, that's a great idea. I'll let you do that. That's basically, I mean, Dave is, and I'd say this, hand on heart, Dave is a fucking hero in Unity, honestly. He does not get enough credit. He is an absolute hero. Every single good idea that has ever come out of fucking like each Shredfest and made each Shredfest better has come from Dave. Also, fuck you, Dave.
Wow.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So basically, yeah, when I said this to him, yeah, we need to sort of make it so as we got staff, so we're doing this, that, and the other. And he's like, yeah, so the next one we're going to make it 3 days. I'm like, what? Yeah, my first reaction was, what the fuck are you talking about? The next thing I said was, okay, right, how do we do this? Yeah, that was it. And basically, yeah, we at that point it was just a case of, okay, we're just going to keep asking people to join the community. It was a while before we actually opened the community up fully. So at that point, we were still just sort of like bringing people in. So people who were in Shredfest 2 were still only there really by invite. That
was back in the old days when it was invite only, like, because we didn't want a load of dickheads coming into the server. And now we're like, you know what? We'll just filter the dickheads out when they come in. It's completely fine. We've got enough people to fix this, so yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and then during the second Shredfest, basically the Saturday night, I was basically thinking about the next one. Like everybody else was just thinking about getting through this one. I was already thinking about the next one. I was thinking about what are we not doing well enough? What's like, because it's a really, really good time to sort of think about what is going well, what isn't going well while it's all going on, because it's really fresh in your mind. If something hasn't been working, or like you think that something could work well, like that's when it's all fresh in your mind. So you're like, okay, let's get this all down. So it's become a bit of a theme now that the Saturday night of the current Shredfest is when I start working on the next one. So
That's interesting.
Yeah,
there you go. An insight into the life of Shredfest Unity organizers. Saturday night Shredfest is Dave's thinking time.
Yeah,
for thinking about how we can make it better. Yeah, it always has been like that. Yeah. And we were talking about this like a couple of days ago. Even this Saturday will be the same thing, where we will come together and discuss, what we can do better, how we can improve the next one.
What's working, what isn't, Are there any new ideas that anybody
Yeah.
can bring to the table?
And when he says anybody, he means Dave. And I'm like, yeah, Dave, that's a great idea. You will do that.
Well, I mean, I think we're at the point now that it's not just my ideas. Like I think we're at the point now that we can
That's
bring
true,
people
yeah.
into that conversation and ask everybody else, is there anything else you think we can bring to the table?
I mean, that's what the staff room's about, though. I mean, we talk about stuff in the staff room. You can't see it. It's a secret little staff room we've got. But the staff room is basically, someone will bring an idea and someone will say it's shit, and then I'll go, yeah, that's shit, or it's good. We'll go with that. And basically, that's where all the ideas and improvements happen within Unity in the staff room that nobody knows about.
That or the fantastic events team that Greer and I'm a part of.
Fuck the events team.
All right, see you guys.
I love you both.
Fantastic. Yeah, so we have already a few ideas for that we've been discussing, and we talked a bit on the last podcast about, and I think it was actually Mr. Octism who brought it up with doing something more with women and LGBTQ. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like that kind of people, because we have a surprising amount of them in the community. I was actually like, oh, we have another one, and oh, we have another one, and it's like, yeah, that's fantastic, cool. It takes all sorts, so just having a few of those.
So right, okay.
So focusing a bit more on those, because let's face it,
100%.
the metal community is really
diverse.
Sausage fest. That's basically what it is.
It is.
Yeah, you got that right.
But I'm a big advocate for all the communities that are within like Unity, and our goal is to bring more of like obviously all those communities into Shredfest. This is another thing that no one knows about that I'm going to share with you all. So me and Dave, we try to strike a balance of who we've got in the community. So when all the applications come in, me and Dave go through the applications, we filter out all the shit, and then we go, okay, we've got this amount of women that want to get involved. Let's put them in these places and, move people around. We don't ever move people down. We just move people up into spots. I think that's the fairest way of doing it.
It's moving people up in priority. So it doesn't guarantee the slot. It just moves them up in priority. So we're sort of getting more of a balance.
And this is something that we will continue to do moving forward on to the next Shredfest. We'll talk about it on Saturday, obviously.
Yep. Philemon, you've also been in like more than one Shredfest, so kind of circle a back bit to it. But like, what's some of the biggest lessons you learned from like the previous, the first fest you were to the next one, and what did you bring in to like kind of improve on what you did from first to the second?
Yeah, I basically already threw it in. So the first one that I then actually participated, I also wanted to jam in it as much as possible, but totally ended up not doing that just because I was so nervous and then just drinking a lot and talking much more. But afterward thought, that was awesome. You should have time to drink something. You should just ramble a bit. You should just tell people stuff, what you like to tell them. And everyone seemed to having a good time. So screw putting in as much as you can and just have a good time and be yourself. And that was basically the main lesson I took with me. And that's why I got the idea of planning some buffer time in between each song and calculating roughly where I would be at which should be at which song, so I could be more flexible. Because especially with, for example, the Ärzte, we were talking about different tunings and stuff, everything. So there was actually, I had 2 songs that were on bass, one that I wanted to play on the acoustic guitar, dozens of songs in E standard and E flat. And just to get a decent flow, I had to switch back and forth a lot. So that made it a bit more complicated, but that also gave me a lot more wiggle room and room for improvisation.
Yeah.
So,
For anyone who is actually paying attention here, you see a theme. Everyone tried to cram in as many songs as they could the first time and found it wasn't the best solution.
Nope.
Just something to think about. And most of you have some time to actually fix that if you want to.
To kind of add on to this topic as well, learning the first time around, going back to the whole like nervousness and stuff like that. Like especially now because COVID is still going on, I feel like another reason why Shredfest is such a great thing is it kind of acts as a big virtual festival in a way. And so at the same time, you want to treat your set like it's a show. So you want to be entertaining. You don't want to just be sitting there just playing music, kind of, just be yourself, be, you know what I mean? Be entertaining.
Yeah, I will say it has amazed me the amount of stock people put into this thing. Like I see people saying like I'm really nervous, I'm really worried about how it's going to go, and I'm sort of thinking like because I do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, and I'm like nobody ever sort of cares that much about stuff that I'm putting together. Like it's to me, it just amazes me the amount of stock that people put into it. But what I will say is, you cannot go wrong. All you can do is do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so kind of building a bit on that is like we talked a bit about like how you plan your songs and all of that, but how do you plan your visual setup? Like, how do you plan your scenes? Do you just use your standard, or do you something special with some silly effects or whatnot? Starting with you again, but also you haven't talked in a while.
Yeah, again, so I did my visuals. I kind of wanted to play on that homage to Joan Jett. So I bought a green screen and all that stuff and kind of set it up to where, I picked a lot of pictures off the internet and kind of put it in a compilation video that I could show on my green screen in the background and kind of play that homage to her. So I think it's, kind of whatever you feel comfortable doing. If you want to just do your regular setup, or if you want to dress up. I know like Mr. Wiz, who is new this year, is totally doing the whole Blues Brothers vibe with the hat, the black suit, the tie, the white shirt, and all that. Do what you feel comfortable doing. If that's what you want to do, you want to dress up, you want to do the whole wig thing, or dress up like that particular person in that band, whether it be the guitar player, the bass player, or whatever, whatever the vibe is, go for it. Because we're not going to judge you if that's what you want to do and you want to pay homage to that particular person or to that band. Fucking do it, man. Have fun. That's the whole thing about Shredfest, is to have fun. Pay homage to that artist, or that band, or whatever you want to do, that particular genre of music. Have fun, do it up, man, if you feel comfortable doing that, because we love to see that kind of stuff, and we're not going to judge, honestly.
Yeah,
so
I'll add to that. We're not going to judge by saying we're going to love you even more if you're going to dress up for it.
Exactly.
Correct. I've actually bullied one person into dressing up this time, and I can't wait to see how that turns out. I'll send you pictures later, Dave.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, Mumford.
Well, for me, I mean, I kept all my visuals the same as like what I normally stream with. I mean, obviously, I turned off playlist. Although thinking about it now, I could have used it in the way I think that you said, Lion, where you put all of your songs on the playlist. So that was really smart. I don't know. I didn't feel like changing my visuals all that much because I wanted people to know, like, yes, I'm playing Incubus or whatever, but this is also my show, and I wanted people to know what like that show was going to be like. So I didn't want to change it too much, although I think it would be fun, like, I don't know, when you see Incubus perform, they're just like in street clothes. Like if I were to do Dream Theater, like in a future Shredfest, I mean, I'd have to, get some fake muscles and be John Petrucci, but in long hair. But I think it'd be really cool if you were playing a band that's known for like a visual spectacle. Like let's say you were playing Ghost, as an example, and you paint your face and all that. Like I think that'd be rad. I think that'd be so cool if you really got into what really emulated what the band does when they're live. So I don't know. I don't think you need to go all out necessarily. Do what's right for you. Do what you feel is best for you, but also don't be afraid to, like, if you have fun, everyone else is gonna have fun. Like it's not, as has been said so many times, it's not about your playing. It's about you. It's about you being there, putting on a show, and having fun.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting counterpoint though, because I never thought about it like that. Yeah, you also want to show you. Yeah, that's absolutely.
I said it earlier, like.
Yeah, but you just ramble. He actually put it into.
Damn you! Fuck you, Red.
Yeah, he put it into some kind of coherent sentences. That's what's the difference.
Just because I use expletives, all right? Yeah, don't judge me. It is like genuinely, it is all about like it's not showcasing the band that you're playing. It's showcasing who you are as a person, who you are as a streamer. Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm saying. Fuck you, Red Eye.
I was really just inspired by you, Venom. So I took what you said, and I ran with it.
Yes.
Yeah, you're no longer the perfect level of junk. You're just slightly below or beyond.
Good one, Dave. Drinking a can of Stella.
Yeah, I don't have too much to add on top of what everyone else has said. One thing that I changed on my overlays was rather than like my RS playlist being on screen, I put just like a text source of my set list on the screen. And then, like I mentioned with the Opeth set, like adding, funny clips. As much as anything else visually that I've changed, I've mostly changed it outside of Shredfest in the past couple months, so I haven't had a chance yet.
Yeah, basically hardly changed anything for my visuals during the Shredfest. I mean, I threw out the playlists. I actually thought about using, or I might have used it in the second. I'm not sure anymore. Damn, maybe it was too much whiskey. I might have used it during the second. And in the third, I didn't even want to use it anymore, just because I wanted to have that extra layer of flexibility. And you don't need to shove into people's face that you have rambled too long and then skipping a song in between. So I didn't want to do that. I just put up some Shredfest graphics on the scene, but more or less pretty subtle. The most time I've spent prior to Shredfest was whenever I played that creating patches specifically for the band. as I'm not using Rocksmith tones. Back then I was using the ME80, and then it was my challenge to get the best sound for my instrument that I could get.
Yeah, that's also a good point. So yeah, do what you want and do it well. That's a great tip in that sense. I'm seeing we getting like closer and closer. Phantom, Dave, you had some announcements you wanted to do, so I'll let you have them.
Dave. Now we've still got some time left. If you want to go do another question or anything, we've still got some time left, mate. She's not ready
Could I
yet,
actually
so-
ask something?
No, you can't.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you
I'll go
can.
back on
No,
mute.
go on. No, it's all right.
Oh, Butters is raising her hand. She wants to.
I mean, I think while we're all here and it looks like we're about to wrap up. I mean, I haven't seen like all of your streams. Like, do you think we could do a quick like, show us your axe kind of thing? Just like one guitar. I just want to see everyone's like axe. If that'd be cool, if that's okay.
Starting with Butters after she.
I do have one thing to say. I do have one thing to say that I want to tell everybody that's new to Shredfest. First off, it's okay to be nervous, or it's okay to be anxious about your set that you're going to do. It's okay. These emotions that you are feeling are valid, and it's all right. First off, I want to say breathe, because it's okay. Nobody is there. Nobody that's watching you is going to judge you or make fun of you if you miss a note. We are there to support you. Yeah. Okay, and the music that you're playing. So just take a deep breath before you start, and just know that we're there for support, and it's okay, and we are there to lift you up, and be yourself. If you feel more comfortable not talking to people while you're doing your thing, that's okay. If you're like me and ramble, and that's all right too, because it's in the end, it's all about the music, and nobody is judging you if you miss something. It's okay, because we love you. We appreciate the fact that you are willing to do this and put yourself out there, and put yourself on the spot, because that's what you're doing, and it's okay. All right,
it's all love, all support, no judgment.
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly what it is. And I was nervous when I did it, and there was a lot of stuff I would have done different. But looking back on that, now I know that nobody that watched me on the last Shredfest was judging me. And that was my worst fear, that somebody was judging me because I was going to miss a note or, fuck up. And I realized that it was okay if I did, because nobody was going to call me out on it. Because we love each other. This is part of the Unity community. Love, that's what it is. So you're okay. It's all right to feel nervous. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys stopping in and doing this and signing up and playing your favorite band, because in the end, it's all about the music. That's what it's about, the music.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so show and tell. This is my baby. Sorry. It is. I love this thing. It's got a humbucker pickup. I hate this fucking Ibanez. I hate Ibanez. It's got a humbucker pickup, which I love. It is a Sterling Music Man Stingray. It is the $300 version of the really expensive Music Man. I'm just saying. You can get a deal on these. I got this one through Musicians Friends. I got it because I have small hands as a woman. We have different obstacles playing than y'all do.
Fair enough.
We have to deal with this, depending on how big this is. And this base is nice because it actually has a cutout for these, so you feel a little more comfortable with this resting against this, and I just feel that the action is a little better on this neck than this Ibanez. So yeah, this is my baby. And I think I paid $350 for it. And it's fucking awesome.
350 well spent by the looks of things.
Hell yeah!
Absolutely.
I guess I'll go next.
Yes, you go next.
This is my main. It's a Ernie Ball Majesty. I paid too much for it. But I did get a deal on it. So, because I bought through Sweetwater and my rep was cool enough to give me a discount on it.
Expensive beasts by all accounts.
They are,
Indeed.
but it helps when you can save a couple bucks on them. So this is my main. It's ergonomic. I'm small, and so I like a very small guitar. So it works well for me, and the piezo is just clutch. I mean, everything about the guitar is great. So that's my main.
Guess I'm next. I only have 3, 2 basses, 1 guitar. The one I started stream with is this Washburn Taurus bass. I don't think they make this model anymore. It's now turned into my dedicated Meshuggah playing bass, and I write viewers' names on it now as well as a channel point reward. And then this is my main. This one is it's the signature of Dan Briggs of Between the Buried and Me, and it's a Spectre NS 2000 5-string. This thing's beautiful. I love the little artwork here on the 12th fret. It's got EMG pickups. I don't remember the body or anything like that, but I love this thing. I paid a lot of money for that as well. I think that one was like 2,200 Canadian. And then my guitar, which is another signature, it's the Michael Ackerfeld Opeth signature guitar.
Hold up a bit. Did you say 2,200 Canadian? 2,200,000? Wait, what? I want an exact price on this. What?
It was probably 2,300 Canadian.
Are you serious?
That big.
Wow.
I wanted it.
Oh, geez. Don't look up the Majesty.
That's what it is.
just don't look it up.
And yeah, and then
Canadians have to spend a lot more for everything.
Yep, you should see our friggin' Steam games, man. But yeah, and then this is Michael Ackerfeld's signature PRS guitar. It's got the wonderful Opeth O on it and all gold hardware.
Damn you! I want that.
Yeah, Venom's very jealous of it.
Oh, that's George's.
And yeah, that's me.
Yeah, for me, I just think I quickly grab the camera. You rarely see the acoustics on stream, but I play on this TV. And then there's this small wall. I think my mains are mostly this triangle of Ibanez, which would be the Ibanez Gem 76.
I like that wall.
The Ibanez RGA. And the Artcore, which I bought used, and the previous owner upgraded it with some Gibson pickups.
Is that a ukulele? Do you have a ukulele sitting back there?
It's a guitar-lele. It's like
a guitar-lele.
It's like a ukulele, but it's tuned like a guitar, I assume.
It's basically a 6 strings like a guitar. But it's a bit differently tune, so you got
So
the
cute.
A.
I
So
wasn't actually expecting
having
6 strings on it.
having a capo on the 5th fret, but it's mostly used by my daughter
Nice.
Nice.
just to
It's cute.
get into shredding.
That's awesome.
Right, Dave, get your fucking V out. Let's have a look. Come on.
Just talking about the guitar, though.
Let's see it again.
Just get the fucking V out.
Fuck off. Before
Let's
I
see
get
it
the video,
again.
I'm getting this fucker out.
Oh,
nice.
that's a
Because
beauty.
this thing
Right,
is,
Victor.
yeah.
I like the
Yeah,
color. That's
this-
cute.
Nice.
This,
Yeah.
this is my my number one backup guitar. This is what I use as my third guitar. Basically, when I'm out gigging, as I said earlier, I have one guitar in standard tuning, one guitar in drop tuning, and then I have one guitar that's got a fixed bridge that's my backup. So if either of those other guitars I break a string or anything, I've got this to fall back on. And
I own one
yeah,
of those things. A guitar,
Yeah,
six-string
and-
double. That's what we call them.
yeah, and
Or thin
It's-
string peasants.
it's also my backup if any of my guitars break while I'm streaming normally. This is the first guitar that I go to. Basically, this is it is my number one backup guitar, and I fucking love it because it's fucking beautiful as shit. Look at it.
I love the
But-
color. The color is nice.
Yeah, very beautiful.
But the one that Venom wants to see, I'll grab that.
Do it! Do it now! Do it now!
Do it now! Arr, arr.
V.
I like how he has it to hand. Like it's like the main guitar that he uses, but he has to go into a different room to get it.
Kept in a vault.
Yeah. Look at that motherfucker.
That's sick.
Oh, wow.
The pink
It is
outline,
pretty.
even.
I mean, it's
Pretty.
a fucking beast,
Big
and
black.
It is an absolute weapon, that thing, and it sounds so good. What pickups are in it, Dave?
they're Seymour Duncan blackouts. So basically, the Seymour Duncan answer to EMGs.
Very nice. I
Yeah.
like it a lot.
Absolutely nice.
Yeah, that
Right.
that is my main streaming guitar now.
Damn right
Okay.
it is. Son of a bitch.
Right, your turn.
No, I'll let Red go first, and then I'll see us out.
Okay, that's fine. Well, let's see. This is what I'm going to do with Shredfest.
Nice.
That is a LTD B50 Flame Maple that I sort of custom put together. Because the Flame Maple didn't come with a fretless neck, so I have to get that from a B50 that had a fretless neck. I also put in, it's actually a hybrid now with DiMarzio E pickups and then a Seymour Duncan gas pickup in it. And I think it was on Tuesday I actually got to shim the neck properly because the bridge was to the deck and the strings was slightly on the high side. But getting decent neck cheap neck shims was not easy, so I had to do that. I have a similar one in black that is fretted. That's what I use mostly on stream these days because the Harley Benton jazz bass is a heavy boy. It sounds amazing, especially after I got the Fender vintage pickups in it. But it weighs about 6 kilos or 12 pounds for those who use the wrong measurements. So that's what I usually do. I'll show my guitar, the only one I have, and one of my most precious instruments.
that's nice.
Yeah, that's an EC 500. I actually swapped out the EMGs and sold them. I put some Fishman Fluence in them, and it sounds ferocious. And it's a bit more under control because Fluence seems to be a bit more manageable than the EMGs. I've never been a fan of EMGs. They're not bad, but they have a bit of a too harshness that I don't really like. And the Fluence are a bit more mellow.
And I love that harshness.
All right, so I'm gonna make this really quick. So I've got this fucking thing here. It's a 5-string thing. It's a bass thing.
You got one
Harley
string
Benton.
extra.
Yeah, 5-string Harley Benton. It's fucked. I'm gonna fix it one day. I promise.
I'll fix it for you, mate.
Yeah, one string too many.
This is, an LTD ESP Demonology.
I want one of them.
It has the EMG signature bone breaker pickups. It's fucking nuts. It hates Rocksmith. Rocksmith hates it. The tones are insane. It doesn't work with anything, but I'm going to make it work when I get back to Saudi. They're the two new things that I'm introducing into my stream. However, fuck that shit. It's time for Shredfest.
Hell yeah.
We are ready to go.
Absolutely.
And it's time. Like, okay, so let me introduce the first person, Miss Roxism. Holy fucking shit.
Woo,
She
Jeff.
is an absolute goddess of the bass, playing a 6-string fretless, doing Amorphis.
Absolutely.
It is going to be incredible. Don't forget, there is a Legator and 14 amps giveaway. If you want to get involved, get down into unityshredfest.com. All the details are there. Get involved in that shit. Let's fucking go. I am ready.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Good luck to everyone.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah. Have fun, everyone.
Yes, absolutely.
And thank you, Rubber Dave and Venom Hammer, for doing this and putting this on. You guys are fucking rock.
Yeah, thanks for having me on as well.
Thank you, everyone.
And thank you, Red Lionhead, for hosting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Red, you're the best
Thanks, Red.
ever. You're the best around.
Oh,
never gonna keep it down.
I actually saw that montage just recently because I saw the Cobra Kai season 1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, just making sure that Miss Rocktism is ready for us.
She is ready, mate. She is more than ready.
Then we'll start the raid.
I am fucking dying for a piss. Goodbye.
Do this!
Everybody.
Yeah!
Goodbye.
Let's go. The raid is set. You absolutely have to stay for that. That's no question. That's a requirement.
Yeah.
We are nearly at 100 viewers, so that's amazing. Let's
do this. Let's go. This is going to be a fucking good weekend.